Good evening and welcome to a loud and nerdy on a Tuesday night. Uh, Again, where there are more important things going on in the world. Clearly. But if you're joining us, you're looking to get away from the world and just kind of relax and chill and not kill yourself or go crazy or whatever. You'll be joining us tonight, which we appreciate. Thanks for joining us. And Tuesdays are fun. I enjoy our time together, Jerry. You know what I mean? And I just think,
Yep.
um, I don't know. I'm super thinking about people and places and friends and trying to get shit. You know what I mean? Like trying to get everything set in case anything ever goes wrong. So anyway, thanks for joining us tonight. We're going to talk some stuff. Kyle is running late. Kyle, for anybody who doesn't know, Kyle is a mailman. And Kyle has a union union gig on the first Tuesday of every month, and he sent us a message earlier that this one's going long, is what what he wrote out. So cool. We also didn't have any. We haven't had Generation Movie in the last 2 weeks because Rich got a paying gig as working on a film in Lake Area. So I will be back, I promise. Spooky season
Nice.
has arrived. And I am doing something, Jerry, that I think you'll appreciate. Here are the rules. I'm going to watch one new horror movie for every day in October, something I haven't seen. It could be things I've heard of, but I'm really getting into it. Oh, I forgot. Fuck, I got to do comments tonight. Also, if you like, without Kyle, I've lost my way.
I'm going to
If you
try
like
to
us,
do this with you. I'm going to try to do this too, right?
okay, I can send you a list. I made
But
a list.
that's
I
not a
can.
bad idea because I'm going to be fishing, but obviously today's day one. I'm not going to make it today, so I'm going to have to double up sometime.
That's fine. Okay, so here's the hashtag that we're going with, and actually, maybe I'll change it to JW and Jerry 31 and 31. But this is the hashtag JW 31 and 31. So 31 new horror films that I have not seen. They could be new, they could be old, and it's just
Right.
like how sometimes movies don't make it in.
Well, you send me
But
your list,
I
and
will
then
send you
if
my
there's something
list.
I saw, then I'll just replace it with something else.
Well, and no, I'm putting enough there in case we can't find it or it's not available yet.
Right.
Like for example, things that are on the list are Salem's Lot, the new Salem's Lot that is coming out in 2 days. That's got to go on the list.
Well, we know we didn't see that one.
We definitely know we haven't seen that one. Also, the new Terrifier is coming out in 2 weeks,
Didn't
right?
see that.
Terrifier 3 we have not seen. So we haven't seen the new Smile movie. I really like the first Smile. I think it's one of the better horror films in the last 3 or 4 years. Really well done.
Different.
But it's 31 and 31, and I found a movie. Fuck! I got to do comments. Hold on. Where's Kyle? Okay.
Now you.
I hate you, Kyle. I hate you, Kyle. The hashtag is JW31 and 31. I'm going to do that on Facebook. I'm going to do that also on Twitter or X, whatever the fuck the megalomaniac is calling it these days. Good evening, friends. Good evening, Ken. This has been a hard week with all the deaths. We had another death today, Ken. John Amos passed away right before the show went on. Famous for good
That's actually
times.
where I've been getting my news about that stuff. That's the first place I see it.
TMZ has been pretty great, actually. But John Amos died. We had several deaths on Broadway.
Chris
Christopherson, who was like not only a talented musician, but a really good, and John Ashton, who passed away from the Beverly Hills Cop movies. But the movie I was telling everybody, if you really want to see John Ashton at his very best, Midnight Run is like he is so good.
A good movie.
Midnight Run is a great movie. And I was reading up on one of the stories about John Ashton, and we'll get to everybody in a second. Has been hard to load desk, Ken. One of the stories about John Ashton was he went to audition for Midnight Run, and he had an in because Martin Brest directed Midnight Run. He also directed Beverly Hills Cop. So his agent is like, they're making everybody read, and everybody has to read with De Niro. and he goes, so I go to this audition, and everybody's out in the lobby, and they're all fucking nervous because De Niro's behind the other door. And he goes, so I decide. He goes, since I already know I know Marty. I'm gonna go in guns blazing. I'm just gonna go in guns blazing, and I'm gonna fucking get tough with De Niro because that's what the character called for. Marvin is an asshole in the movie, but they're competing bounty hunters. And so he goes in, and De Niro's there, and they're reading the scene, and it's a scene where De Niro throws a pack of matches on the floor, right? And or Marvin throws a pack of matches on the floor, and then De Niro and Marvin get into it. Jack and Marvin get into it, I should say. And so anyway, John Ashton just started saying "fuck off" to Robert De Niro in the middle of this audition, and he basically just went full like, I'm not pick up those matches. No, fuck off. I'm not picking up the matches. And that wasn't part of the scene. Marvin picks up the matches, hands them to Jack. He's like, no, I'm not picking up the matches. You pick up the fucking matches. And so he had this great moment with De Niro in this audition, and he left, and he's like, I don't know how it went. Mr. De Niro might be upset. I don't know what's going to happen.
Like, that guy back here.
De Niro's like, that was great. Every other person through the fucking door is terrified of me. So yeah, and so he's that kind of actor. So we lost him. We lost John Amos. Good Time, Father on Good Times, which is something we grew up with. Great show. Other side of life that you and I were not accustomed to seeing. Inner city, New York.
Yep.
Right. Families, struggling to make things, right. All kinds of people in that show that you remember. John Amos was the Rock. Jimmy Walker was the lead comedy, but John Amos was the Rock of the family. Then if you sparse out John Amos, you get, character roles in Coming to America, where he played Mr. McDowell. You know what I mean? You get character roles where he played the shifty sergeant in Die Hard 2, Die Harder, right? Yep. So, just a great actor, and just, all these character actors that we're losing, we can't just replace them. You know what I mean? I was thinking about Beverly Hills Cop, like Axel F. I'm so happy we got that one last ride with Taggart, right?
Yeah, who would have known, right?
Who would have known at the time? But he didn't look well, but nobody was really talking about it. But yeah, some losses this week. I think it's fairly. Hi, there you are. Hi, there I am. And there's Jerry, too. Hello, guys. Hello, Missy. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Joe. Sorry, we're just getting this. Hi, hey, guys, watching you and the debate. I'm taping the debate. We'll be watching. Whew, gonna be a hot one tonight. Anyway, watching a spooky season movie daily. Today was Beetlejuice. Raven. But can I interest you in joining us and everybody else who wants to join? 31 movies you've never seen that are horror based. Starting today. I will try 31 and 31 too. Fantastic. I have a list for you, Missy, that I made up just going through different lists in the last couple of days. I'll send it to both you and Jerry, and maybe we can all get in the same page. Actually, I will put it in the group as well.
Well, just for some clarity, right? That horror can encompass psychological horror.
Yeah,
ghosts,
everything.
Right?
Everything. So if you and Missy want to catch up and see Strange Darling, which everyone should. Also, finally, Kyle is needed. Yeah, to do the messages. Oogie Boogie died. Yes, the character actor that portrayed Oogie Boogie died. So it's been a rough week. Putting on see the Bay sign in the back.
Yeah, right.
Again, Coming to America 2. Yeah, he was also in the sequel. And John Amos is funny on 2.5 Men. Lover with Stacy Keach. Yeah. John Amos was a great character actor. John Ashton was a great character actor. You don't realize how much you miss those people until they're not in our lives and filling the movies that we love. Filling the movies.
It's I remember that dude.
Yeah,
that dude was great
dude. Right,
yeah.
And
he was one of those that dudes in a lot of movies.
John Amos, he steals almost every scene he's in Coming to America, the original. He steals every scene he's in. With the fucking cookbook from McDonald's. You know what I mean? It's just, I have the golden arcs. Yeah, it's great.
It's different.
And then Ashton, like I said, if you want to see an Ashton movie, Beverly Hills Cop 1 is fantastic. Taggart, Rosewood, Eddie Murphy getting together. The second one where he plays like he pretending to be Gerald Ford. That's former President Gerald Ford. Like they're great performances, but the performance that I think Midnight Run. If you have never seen Midnight Run, I cannot
Yeah,
recommend it higher. So 7. Maybe I can try, but I'm having problems. Horror, suspense, violence in general. Okay, then no, you don't have to. Just watch what we're doing. But I will say the one I watched today, Jerry, to kick this off, I had never seen, but I'd heard about it, and I found it on Tubi today. It was on my list, so all good things. And this is the movie I watched today, Dark Knight of the
Oh,
Scarecrow.
great movie.
Oh my god, it was so good,
That
Jerry.
movie was.
It was so
I
good,
saw
and it
that. That
wasn't.
was that on 9 or 11. What channel was that?
I don't. I think it was ABC. I think it was like. I think it was a
Yeah,
major
that
channel
movie's
during the
fantastic.
spooky season. But okay, so basically, everything you need to know about the movie is in this picture right here, right?
Yes,
Everything you need to know. But what you like, the stuff you don't know, and what I'm going to explain to you. So it's this fantastic movie where it has people you recognize. So like Charles Durning, right? And Charles Durning usually plays good people. He usually is the good guy in most movies he's in. Not this one.
Larry Drake,
Larry Drake, who was Benny on LA Law, he was also the lead
Doctor
bad guy
Giggles.
in Darkman, and he was also Doctor Giggles. Yes, but the movie is this. It's a 1981 made-for-television horror film, right? It's written. It's based on a book by Frank Di Felidia. He also authored the book Audrey Rose. Um,
Another good
it was
movie.
written and directed by J.D. Feigelson, right? Um, and Frank the Felidia also actually he wrote and directed, and Feigelson created and wrote the teleplay and helped him direct. It was CBS. It was CBS. And basically, what it's about this small town where all these shitheels live, and they're all like in everybody's business. But there's a mentally challenged person, and I picked this movie, Jerry, because we're in the midst of a weird moment in history, right? Where mentally challenged people seem to be getting picked on a little bit more than they should, right? So this one kind of incorporates with what I was thinking today. And basically, this mentally challenged person, played by Larry Drake, named Bubba, he hangs out with the kids. He's 36 years old. He's had run-ins where he's been in the wrong place at the wrong time. But Charles Durning plays this fucking shitheel of a person
Yeah,
who's like a mailman. He's in everybody's business. It's in the deep south. And he basically, what happens is Bubba basically is friends with one of the little girls in town, and her name is Mary Lee Williams. This tiny little girl. And basically, one day she does something she's not supposed to do, but Bubba is with her, and he actually
yeah. Don't
saves.
give too much away.
Yeah, he actually saves her life. But what happens is the bottom picture here in this poster,
It
which
gets
is
misconstrued.
it gets misconstrued, and they kill him. They kill him, and he comes back as a vengeful scarecrow because that's the outfit he used to hide with his mom when they used to play hide and seek, and with the little girl. And it's not scary, and there's not a lot of
It
blood,
was
and
fantastic for television, though.
it's a wonderful, like it has very little blood. It has a lot going on. It reminds me of the TV movies we used to get, like
Yes.
the Salem's Lot, right? Like
And the other one I used to watch was Blood Song with Frankie Avalon.
yes.
That was another
Um,
one of those.
but so this movie is basically about all these people, and they basically murder him, and they cover it up, and he comes back the next Halloween and just does revenge things. Although it's not like a Jason kind of movie. It's like he may or may not be
It's
there. It may
TV.
just be the spirit. It could be
Right.
the
Right.
spirit of revenge. It could be anything. And then it has a kick-ass ending. It's a really great ending where and it leaves room for a sequel that was eventually made in 2022, and it's just really a lot of fun, and it's well done. Larry Drake does a great performance as Bubba. Charles Durning is fantastic as the heel. And it's just how this town kind of is okay with this kid getting murdered, this 36-year-old mentally challenged man, and how everybody, the good old boys, are all good with it. And then he eventually comes back and gets his revenge, or does he? We don't know.
Right.
It's not a slasher in the sense of a slasher. It's more of a,
Right. A little bit different.
you know what it's like? It has a lot in common with Pumpkinhead.
Yes.
Like it has
Yeah,
a lot
I
in
can see that.
common with Pumpkinhead.
It does.
And and I just I just looked up on Tubi that there is a sequel that they made in 2022 with all of the creative people from the original that I am definitely going to watch in the
I
next
didn't even
31
know
days.
about it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's weird. It's a Dark Knight of the Scarecrow too. I look down, it's the same creative team with a whole new people, and then it's like what it says is new family moving into town runs into the heated, supercharged, malevolent, supernatural things happening in this small town in the South. And I'm like, oh, do they kill another mentally challenged
Yeah, another
person?
guy.
Like, do they, like, is it, I don't know. Anyway, I
Well, we'll have
watched
to
it.
wait and see.
But now that's a movie we can add. We can add that to our list. And like I said, it's just one of these movies I always remember hearing about. I don't remember watching it.
I have this on
watched it today.
DVD over here.
I watched it today. It was way and ahead of its time. Like, it's an 1981 movie. It's right around the time of Salem's Lot and that sort of thing going on. But it's all about chills and effects and eeriness. There's a shot. One of the guys is in a barn, and I don't know if you noticed this, Jerry, but it's one of the best shots in a dark barn I've ever seen. Comes to the top of the stairs, and he has a flashlight in one hand, and the flashlight comes over on his face, and he's looking up in the loft, and the light is perfectly on his face, like he's telling a scary story at a campfire. And it's just a really well done movie. And Larry Drake is amazing.
Yeah.
It's so sad. And he's like, I didn't do anything, Mama. I didn't do anything. I told her not to go. I told her, she almost gets killed by a dog, and he saves her, and then they kill him. And it's just, but I was thinking about it, Jerry. Right? This is 81, right? So we're right around the time of Friday the 13th, but we haven't gotten Jason yet. Right? We don't have Jason yet, and we don't have except for Michael, we don't have any of the revenge killers, right? Any of the supernaturally brought back to life by revenge killers, and this is the first of its kind, right? Right down to the outfit and the pitchfork, and it's like the first of its kind. And it has the ending is.
I always like that movie.
I can't imagine how people reacted to the ending, because the ending is so it's not out of left field, but it's also not nice for a 1980 TV movie. So anyway,
I remember watching that on TV.
I see. I don't remember it. I was
those
7.
Commercials, man. The commercials ruin everything.
Commercials do ruin everything. I agree with that.
They still do.
Okay, so here's what let's see.
Got some comments.
I got to find the comments though. Seen that one several times. Excellent. It's really well done. Or check that one out. I've not seen Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. It's not KNIG. It's just night. Just bad night. There's a lot of wind and a lot of hay being blown around. That may be my first day one. Like I said, it doesn't have. You don't have to get them all. Like, if you have a day off, whatever, you watch 2 when you can. You know what I mean? We're gonna have several weeks this month where new horror films are out in theaters. So, wasn't Scarecrow made for TV? Yes, it was. JW is in the other room, so you may have already said this, but you have the opportunity to push your list to the group so I can get some good recommendations. Yes, I have called a list. What I've done the last few days is just go through various lists.
Actually, a good idea, because I'd sit there, click, 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 because everything's right here now.
Yeah, well, that's what the magic of being able to catch up on and there are going to be some on the list that people are surprised about that maybe I haven't seen. And I would say, as movie fans, we all have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movies that are in your rear view that you can't, you haven't seen. They're
Yep.
right there, and they're always on top. Hey, brothers. Hey, Sean Smithson. Good to see you.
What's up?
If you haven't seen it, Bug
Oh, good
1975.
one. I think I have that
Um,
over here somewhere too.
Burnt Offerings was made for television, I believe. It's
Great
not on my
movie.
list. Also, I'm trying to get in a lot of newer ones. Like as these new movies are released, I think it's really cool to be able to go and say, "Hey, we saw this one new." Right. So Salem's Lot is on my list this week.
I saw the burn offerings comment, and I was going to get a T-shirt made, a Slapjaw T-shirt with the chauffeur. That dude
Tubi
was
had
creepy in
Class
that
of
movie.
'84, but if you click on it, it's Resident Evil. That sucks. I am not a Resident Evil fan. Hello, Jamie Hill, star of Skinamarink and so many
Hola.
other things. We appreciate you coming in. Congratulations on all the accolades your movie has achieved this year, and congratulations you made it to another spooky season. When I found out about Ass and I read the post of Sean Asbla, excuse me, folks, I try to watch two things now. My phone is ringing off the hook. Of course, that's fine. Um, I have 970 movies in my horror file. I might be able to find something to watch. The key for this, for
Right
me,
there with you, brother.
they are right. It's stuff that I
You have
may
to
have
find stuff you haven't seen.
stuff you haven't seen. And so what I did was I've been scouring lists, like the best 100 horror films ever made, gone through that list. And what I was finding today, Jerry, was, what's shocking, the sheer volume of things you can get on Tubi.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Like
If you start going into the
it's
categories,
so
there's a whole
much.
Italian giallo.
There's a whole slasher section.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Slashers, as you know, Jerry, are my two, like
Dress
they're
to
the movie
Kill.
I love. Oh, Dress to Kill is fantastic. Slasher movies are my favorite. So I love the
19
idea that somebody could be killing a bunch of people and then nobody realizes that it's like Bob the nerd who they're picking on in chemistry class.
The New York Ripper.
The New York Ripper. But this is 31 and 31. It's going to be on Facebook. It's going to be on Twitter. I'm going to do the hashtag. If you want to join me, I'd say do the hashtag too, and then you could add your name to the end. So JW31 and 31 blank 31 and 31, and we will. But try to do it under this hashtag so we can all get it big and going. Also this week, box office wise, have to talk about the Wild Robot not coming out of nowhere, but it's a DreamWorks movie. It's a kids movie in the middle of September when there's nothing. The end of September, there's nothing out for kids. Had a huge weekend, $35 million. Finally knocks Beetlejuice from the number one spot, right? So Beetlejuice has been number one for 4 weeks, which is an eternity in movies today. Beetlejuice is crossed the $250 million mark this week. And worldwide, Beetlejuice is just absolutely crushing it. 123 international. That is a lot of money for a particularly American movie. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
where's
it's
Kyle when I need to say a 122? So I can
what's
say
what's wait
123.
what's 120? Oh yeah, 122, 123. But 123 international is not something I was expecting for Beetlejuice, because again, these movies that we had in the '80s, some of them are just us. Some of them are
Right.
just they're for American audiences. American audiences get them. So Beetlejuice it's almost at 400 million worldwide box office. And it's about to be released on at home, so it's made them a sheer volume of money it needed. But the Wild Robot, saw it on Saturday, saw it with the kiddos.
They like it.
It's a really great movie, and I would vent like it has cute animals, it has great character voices, Lupita Nyong'o, Pedro Pascal. It's got great voices. And I would say it's a movie for moms. Like it's this weirdly wonderful. Like Catherine O'Hara plays a possum that is constantly having children and losing them or having them die. It's one of what it reminded me of a little bit, Jerry, and it's something where we don't talk about this enough. Um, you remember in the '80s, and I know you do, and I wonder if anybody else does. But the movies had consequences. The movies had death in them. The movies had there was legit fear going into a kids movie that something bad could happen. Monster Squad, Never Ending Story. You know what I mean? Like these movies are, and they help make us better kids, right? And I think one of the interesting things about the Wild Robot is it takes place in the wild, and in the wild, animals die all the time, right? Animal like predators, like so. There's a whole wonderful sequence with Catherine O'Hara where she's playing this possum, and she's like, "I had 7 kids in this litter, and one gets picked up by an eagle, and she's like 6 now." Like, and it plays it for laughs, but it's also like this is a
It's
dangerous
reality.
world.
Yeah.
It's a reality world. It's a dangerous world. And it's great. It's a great story based on a book. The robot ends up taking the runt of a litter of geese that she was knocked out of she's knocked out of a cave by a bear, and she lands on the nest, killing the entire family except for this tiny baby goose that's just like adorable, and he's gosling, and he's so cute, and he's amazing, bright beak, and it's just this. She raises him, and like Catherine O'Hara explains, like many things in the animal kingdom, the first thing it sees thinks it's its mother. So and it's really quite warm and engaging, and very much about maybe parents that don't think they can be parents but end up becoming great parents, or parents that it's got a really
You
good
never
vibe
know what
to
you're
it
capable of until you're hit with it.
until you're a parent, until you have somebody that's counting on you every day, right? And it's really great. Pedro Pascal plays a fox who's constantly trying to eat people in the movie. It's great. Like he's like, I'm a fox. That's what I'm supposed to do. I am who I say. I am who I lie, and I try to eat other people's kids. That's who I am. Uh, so it's this great movie. It did very well. I'm happy about. I think it's going to bounce around. It's probably going to bounce around until we get to the November kids movies. You know what I mean? Until we get in that range. And it deserves it. It's wonderfully made. I think it will be. I think it's going to have a tough time. I actually think this year's Oscar race for best animated film. We've had so many good movies, so many good animated movies this year. Inside Out 2, and you know what I mean? Like all these great movies, and this is one of them. I think they're going to go head toe to toe because DreamWorks and Disney had a lot going on when they were sparring, and then they kind of stopped. And now I think they're going to do it again. Let's see. So, um, hmm,
Comments going.
I have 700 movement home. Good evening, Brett Wagner. Thank you for joining us, Brett Wagner. I appreciate you joining us. Jamie Hill, hashtag 31 and 31 and JW31. Thank you, Jamie Hill. You have a lot of followers. I appreciate it. The old cartoon probably helped sales. Yeah, we need a version. Monster Squad.
Is
Yes.
she a version?
Is she a version?
That movie's
Yeah. Well, and also that particular moment when we talk about danger, right? Young actress Phoebe the Phoebe, right? Okay. Phoebe the Phoebe had met the actor playing Dracula, but never in full makeup. So that blood curdling scream when he picks her up and says, "Give me the amulet, you little bitch," that's real. Because he has fangs
Wolfman's
and the
got
red.
nards.
So it's Sniffed and the Hawk. Sniffled and the Hawk. I don't know what that means. We come back to Pedro Scott as a fox. What the heck? He's a great fox. First off, Pedro Pascal at this point is. You remember a while back when they were adding the Rock to everything as some sort of like franchise Viagra? Pedro Pascal is the new Rock. Like, and I think he's a better actor, but also like Last of Us, Mandalorian. He's gonna be Mr. Fantastic in the Fantastic Four movie. He's
They get
real
on
good.
these kicks. They had like the
Yeah.
Travolta kick years ago.
Yeah, he's on whatever the hot. If I knew Pedro Pascal and he said I'm going to play some blackjack, I would go. I would follow him to the table. Whatever he was doing, I'd bet with him. Sniffles, yes. Brett Wagner, hey, how you doing, Brett? Thank you for joining us. As Joe said, we appreciate you. And like I said, these kid movies can be hit or miss, but they are definitely they're definitely they're definitely things where if you get a good one, it's a good time. So but again, thank you for joining us, Brett. We appreciate you. I hope everything's going well with you. I hope you're not eating too many people or have a perfectly good face right now, Brett. Um, he is a tremendous actor. He really is. Like he brings something to it. Like what he brings to The Last of Us and what he brings to The Mandalorian are two different things. What he brings here is another. It's again a side of his character you don't get to see. Um, let's see what else. I literally thought we were talking about a Wes Anderson movie. What are we talking about? What movie? Laugh out loud. Okay, so Wes Anderson movie is The Fantastic Mr. Fox. That is not Pedro Pascal. It's a good movie. It's a fantastic movie. Well done. We are talking about the Wild Robot, one of the animated movies. Lupita Nyong'o and Pedro Pascal, and it's a really sweet kids movie. Again, with an edge. There's an edge to it. Like there's literal danger. The little gooseling. The gooseling is it gooseling?
So what
Gosling?
voice does
What
John
the fuck is the?
Ratzenberger play?
It's not Pixar. So he does. Yeah, not Pixar.
He does voices in everything.
Thanks for the laugh out loud. I need as many laughs as I can get. Wild Robot says Jasper. Thanks, Jasper. It looks good from the trailer. It's fantastic, Raven. You would love it. Again, though, there is a hint of danger. Mark Hamill plays the bear too. Like that's another thing that's great. JW F bomb without Kyle. You know why I'm having an F bomb without Kyle tonight? Because he usually runs the comments, and I am usually happier about that. And now I can't because Kyle's not here, and now I miss him. Did I say that? Anyway, I don't mean it. I don't mean it at all. Anyway, so when he gets here, we'll just act like everything's been great. Pager is doing the Corona commercials are great. The movie he did with Nicolas Cage is fantastic. That nobody talked about enough. What is the weight of being? The burden and weight of tremendous talent. Whatever. I can't remember it. That movie's great too. And like I said, Kyle's at a work meeting. Yes, running a little bit late. Now Jerry needs to learn.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, Jerry is very much like I'm good. I'm good. Let Kyle run everything. Joe Ridgely, howdy from Brett Wagner. We appreciate you. Let's talk a little bit about something you're doing. Do you have are you still in this contest? How long is this?
I am in this contest. So
explain this contest to me that you're in, Jerry.
All right, so it's Face of Horror. It's basically a buddy turned me on to it. It's on Facebook. It's a chance to meet Kane Hodder. You know, I met him once before, but you get to do a photo shoot for Rue Morgue magazine. You get $13,000 because it's Friday the 13th, right? And you get to do like a ghost hunt with him. And
that's super cool.
There's 5 rounds of this thing, but there's different groups. So I'm in a group of like, it started off with a group of 20 people.
Yes, I noticed you're currently in the, let's say, the possession round.
Right. So there's like 5 rounds of this thing. It ends after Halloween.
So do you have
I'm like in the head of my group, but there's different groups, and I don't know how many groups there are.
Well, I'm going to show the picture that you're doing, and maybe people can look it up, find him, and basically vote for Jerry, because we would love to have a moment where we get to meet Kane Hodder. Maybe we get some pictures. We can put it up on the show. We always like meeting Jasons around here. I do anyway. And this is the picture that let's see. People are voting for you. I made
that myself.
Well, the picture you know what you look like, and I know you didn't think about this, but you've seen Cabin in the Woods, right?
Yeah. Well, I was kind of going for that a little bit.
The Cabin in the Woods. What is it? The sphere person? I think they're sphere person. Yes. So this is it. Jerry Kamora, Face of Horror.
That's my own doing. I made those out of cardboard, latex. I actually took a circular saw blade and traced it. That's, and then I had to cut it the shape to my head.
We want to win. So Face of Horror, super cool. Go vote for Jerry. Let's make him win. Let's see what else we got. Oh my goodness. Jasper writes, JW
And
needs
you
to
bastard.
Jerry needs to stump JW with a horror movie line. I don't do lines. Jerry knows my movie personality is I know who directed something, why they directed it, who wrote it, the stars. I very rarely know lines. Like unless it's like an easy line. Like, you know, you're gonna
Yeah.
need a bigger boat. Pedro Pascal, blood sucking bastards, one. Yeah, he's great. Everything he does is great. Who's fucking bipolar maniac mind? I love that Cage Pascal movie. Yeah, it's great. Fantastic. Wait, Kyle's not here yet? Talk Twilight Zone. No, no,
I have to wait for him on purpose.
no. We're definitely gonna wait for Twilight Zone specifically until Kyle gets here. Sorry, Jay. I voted for my friend Ron the last 3
All good.
years. We don't. I'm
Vote
disappointed.
for whoever you want. I don't expect this. Like, this is,
Jerry looks like Uncle Fester a little bit, but more again more like the guy from Cabin in the Woods, which, by the way, fantastic movie.
I used to look like Brad Pitt, but I got sick.
We are also going to do this. I'm going to put a poll up tonight. We're going to do a quick 3-round, I think, great Halloween movie like tournament, and it's just something I've been thinking about. And
Tournament?
a tournament where we pick. I'm gonna make it hard on people because I'll give you an example. This is going to be the first night. This is what we're doing in the. I'm going to put it up in the group after the show. Well, probably tomorrow. But this is what the first round is going to be. Hold on, I'm just writing it out. And like I said, it's going to be a tournament. People will vote, and I'm going to make it tough. This is a tough tournament. Ready? This is round 1. This week coming up. Ready? Not the trick or treat like the weird trick or treat. The trick or treat with the multiple stories and Sam, one of my favorite all time characters. I love Sam. I love Sam more than anybody should love a character, except Michael. I love Michael too. So this is it's hard for me. It's got to be hard for other people, right, Jerry? Because these are two every year watches for me. These are movies I watch every year, and since we're
I know what I
getting
would pick, but
well, say it. I don't care.
Halloween.
You got to go Halloween. I understand, but I want to make it hard, and I know that there are fans of Trick or Treat. And to be honest, I'm a fan of Trick or Treat too. I think it's well done. It's like Pulp Fiction with
Yeah, I
art.
dug it. I don't think it's Halloween quality, but I dug it.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, movie ad. It takes all kinds of critters. That's Motel Hell.
Farmer
That's
Vincent Fritters.
That's Motel Hell. Jasper.
That's a good
Posters I can do. We need Jerry fly down and do special effects when we start shooting here. When you say start shooting, you of course are referring to this. Let me get the comment off. I always yell at Kyle for this. As we know, had an awesome development with John Dugan and writer-director Terry Gerald from Black Dog Films, Harlow's Haunt. Pay attention, Black Bayview Entertainment. From the sounds, we're making a movie. Very excited about the next Harlow movie going in a different direction. 2025 is going to be amazing. Harlow's Haunt 2, super cool. Awesome. And excited. Happy for Joe. Happy for. There are rumors that I might. I said I'd only be in it if I get murdered. I want to get destroyed. I want to get literally cut apart and killed. So we'll see what happens. See if I get
like
my wish.
Bill Paxton and get
That's what I mean.
Get famously killed by every popular being.
Every popular monster. Lance Henriksen too. Lance Henriksen.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like these are. I want to die. I want to die on film. But so yeah, that's Trick or Treat versus 78 Halloween. I think that's a good. Actually, if you think about it, is there a better death in any horror film than Hudson in Aliens? Because he's cowardly, and then they break into the room, and he becomes like fucking Rambo. He becomes amazing. You know what I mean? Oh, you want some of this? You know what I mean? And then he gets grabbed, and he's like, he's just
we're toast. We're
screwed. I don't think you realize we just got our asses kicked. Yeah, but he goes from being cowardly to once they're in the room, he's, oh, you want some? Oh, and it's like that fucking whole scene. And then, that inevitable crunch when he finally gets dragged down when he's reaching for Hicks. You know what I mean? Like, fantastic. Can't beat that shit. Um, oh, damn it, JW, not cool. Halloween 100% of the time. Yeah, but that's a tough. JW reposted a panel with Trick or Treat Girls repping the Indie Escape Network. Yeah, I have ties to the Trick or Treat Girls were super nice. They were really
It's
cool.
awesome.
It was amazing. It was an amazing experience. It was my first panel at a con. I appreciate all the people at Phantasm Orlando, and especially Shelley Stokes for giving me the opportunity. Do you feel done with Michael Myers? Nah, I'm never done. Like I, I part of the reason I don't feel done, Jerry, right? This is a
Only if
good
they did
question
it
for horror
right.
fans. Yeah, the Halloween Ends was terrible. Like Halloween Ends was so bad, and who gives a fuck about that kid who had a mental problem? Who
Yeah.
cares? Like, and then the fight, like even the fight with
People
him and
want
Jamie
Michael
Lee.
Myers, not the kid.
Yeah, nobody wants the fucking kid who beat him in a fucking grate, like a sewer grate. Like that's like fucking Busta Rhymes hitting Michael Myers. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? So I don't know that I'm done with him because now if they had ended with just Halloween, like the Halloween reboot with him in the house, Jamie Lee Curtis trapping him in the fire, that would have
Yeah,
been a good. That would have
that
been
would
a
have been
fine ending.
satisfactory. Yeah,
That would have been a
yeah,
satisfactory ending. Even
yeah.
though they erased one of the best horror sequels of all time, two of the best horror slasher sequels of all time in Halloween 2 and Halloween 4 The Revenge of Michael Myers, which are both fantastic Michael Myers movies.
Yeah,
Um,
I really liked two when I was younger a lot
two
because
was
two, maybe for me because two was more graphic than the first one.
two was more graphic. Two also was like,
It's probably why,
is there a worse place to set a horror film than a hospital?
right?
Like hospitals are the worst because
Like
like you kill
Visiting
the
Hours
angel.
was like that too. It was like,
Yeah, or like Exorcist 3. The best moment
yep.
in that movie is in a fucking
Oh, that
hospital.
movie's great.
Uh,
I'm a big George C. Scott fan though, so I'm kind
yes.
of biased.
Okay. Dan Terry needs to call me Joe. Sean Smithson. Laugh out loud. Let's start a killing JW hashtag. Okay. I don't want encouragement because there are people that are mad at me these days. Um, Here they're making Trick or Treat 2. That is always on the board, but when the girls were talking, they hadn't heard anything, but they had already made a comic book that is a direct sequel. Um, but I'd be down for more Sam. I like those stories are so well connected, and just have them in a different town on a different Halloween night with interconnecting stories. Like I feel we could get this done. I feel we should get it done. No, I mean I can watch Jason X or Halloween 420. I'm fine. Give me more. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I mean, somebody brought up when we are talking about Jason's, right? Like, I think the more creative they get with Jason, the better, right? Like, not necessarily the reboot, which wasn't bad, right? It wasn't bad, but him being a marijuana farmer made no sense to me. Also, I have no idea why. And then also, like, the creepy, like, crypt to his mom or like a little holding cell of people underneath the Camp Crystal Lake was like weird. More in line with Leatherface than Jason. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
Jason,
like they
he
almost gave
doesn't.
him too much credit.
Yeah,
He's not supposed to be
he's not
that,
smart of. Also, I
right?
would say like if at some point we ever get there was a script. I know people remember this, but there was a script that was going around Hollywood at some point where it was Freddy versus Jason versus Ash,
Yeah, I remember
right?
that. I remember the
And
scenes.
that script had some. I think it might have been might eventually become a comic book, but the concept was Ash got dragged into the Freddy versus Jason fight part two because Freddy was going for the Necronomicon. And the idea that if Freddy got control of the Necronomicon, that all hell would break loose,
Right.
right?
He's in charge.
Like,
Right.
could you imagine a spirit as vile and evil as Freddy getting a hold of, the book made of human skin that's, nothing but bad things in it, and the ability to conjure bad things to just show up. And I remember that there was like a fight in S-Mart with like Jason and Freddy and Ash, grabbing the shotguns and stuff.
Stop S smart.
Yes, I'd be down for that. I know he's getting older, longer in the tooth. But I'm always down for Bruce Campbell, and I especially feel Bruce Campbell would bring the right amount of. So no, I'm not done with anybody. I'm not done with any of like the people who want to come back. I'll be honest. The Hellraiser movie that came out last year was pretty good, like solid.
Yeah, it wasn't
I know,
bad.
I know that people were freaking out about like, oh, it's a woman, but who gives a shit? Who cares?
Yeah, but you can't expect Doug Bradley to do it forever.
Yeah, 30 days till Halloween, Silver Shamrock. You can hear it in your head right now. As that happens.
Silver Shamrock.
Oh my god.
I could play that.
I don't hate that movie. I don't hate that movie. I don't hate that movie.
I like Halloween 3. I always did.
Halloween 2, dirtiest hospital I've ever seen. Ken says Halloween 1, 2, 4, 5, and the rest can F off. Ken's being nice. He's so Canadian. Just say fuck off, Ken. We're okay. We're on a podcast.
I could buy that though. Honestly.
I don't like 5. I
didn't.
Although 5 isn't bad because it has the little girl, Jamie, right?
Except 3. You got to put 3 in there though.
I think 3 is
not,
I would also put in the Halloween 2018. Halloween 2018 was pretty good. Solid with a great fight.
Put the Rob Zombie ones in there though.
We shouldn't do that at all because those movies suck. They suck badly. As soon as Kyle gets here, please start Twilight Zone.
Just in time, bud. Woo!
Yes, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're giving it as much time as possible. Freddy gets the book but can't turn the pages. That's funny because of the fingers. Well done, Jasper. Well played. Kyle is watching. That's like something out of like, 9th grade English class, like, right? 1984. I wasn't a fan of the latest Chainsaw flick. I don't know. It had one really good part. The bus part was hilarious. The bus part was pretty great. The idea that all these people are taking pictures with phones as he gets on the bus and just starts killing influencers.
I'm a 1 and 2 fan, maybe 3 of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. After that,
Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Think even the remake, like
the one with Jennifer Beal was not Jennifer Beal.
Yeah, I don't think they got the character right though. Like, I mean,
well, I think he's
like all frightened that people are at the house. He doesn't know what to do, right? So he starts killing them. But not then, like, you see these. That's the problem with some of these remakes, though. Like, they make them larger than life. They're this big brutish person. Now he's hunting for people. Like, come on,
right? There's a whole
thing. Character wrong. Like,
there's a whole thing of giving backstories to people that don't need backstories. We just need you to. We need a good protagonist. We need somebody for them to fight with.
Like Rob Zombie hired the biggest guy he could find to play Michael Myers. I mean, really?
The Rob Zombie
the guy's like 6'7".
Hey, no Rob Zombie talk.
I know, but you get what I'm saying, though, right? They make them larger than life, like
they do. The call is coming from inside the house from Kyle. I wonder when is Kyle? Kyle's watching, but he must be on his way home. So we're gonna hold off. We can. I will say I do want to talk about one other thing before we get to Jerry's pick. And Jerry's pick right there. I do want to talk about one other thing. So I saw a documentary last week. I saw a Superman documentary. New news: the Superman documentary is going wide next week. Or this week. It might be going wide. It's getting into more theaters. It's not just going to be a Phantom event. If you get a chance, if there's anybody in your life that's sick, if there's anybody in your life that's been disabled, if there's anybody in your life that's dealing with issues, I urge you to go see this movie if you can, or when it comes out. The other movie I want to talk about, the other documentary I want to talk about, because again, I think we're in a great documentary mood. This movie premiered on Netflix. Will and Harper. It's and in a nutshell, basically what it is Will Ferrell had a writer named Andrew Steele that he was very good friends with on Saturday Night Live. Many of Will Ferrell's best bits were written by this writer. And about at the age of 61, he came out, became a transgender woman, and is living his life as a woman. And basically, he sent an email out to all the people on SNL and to all the friends and family, so they all got it at the exact same time. And you know, he was widely, it was a redeemable thing. But Will Ferrell said, you know what? I think we should do a documentary. I think we should go because Harper, as Steele is now living his life as a woman, was afraid to go around the country like he used to do. She used to go around the country as a man and just go to dive bars and go to stock car races and go all over the country doing like food challenges and all these different things by himself. And as a woman, he's not, and especially as a trans woman, it's not really safe for her anymore. And so Will Ferrell came up with the idea, let's do a documentary. We'll do a cross country journey. We'll hit all the things you like to do. I'll go with you, and we'll see if we can make it. We'll try to actually. I have questions. I want to ask questions. So it's this really compassionate, engaging two friends taking a road trip where one friend has made a choice that's changed their life, and the other friend is one of the more famous stars in Hollywood comedy, right? And so it's this amazing thing. And then he gets to go to a stock. She gets to go to a stock car race, and she gets to do all these things that go to a few dive bars in Iowa. You know what I mean? And do these things. Although I will say Texas can go fuck itself because Texas was awful. There's a whole sequence in the movie where they go to a Texas restaurant and it careened out of control online. It careened out of control in the movie. It's just bad. But the movie itself is full of compassion, full of humor. Will Ferrell asking serious questions. Will Ferrell also saying things like, I don't understand how somebody else being happy affects me in any way, which is a great question. That is a great question to ask somebody that talks to you one day and is railing about something. What does somebody being happy have anything to do with you being happy in your life?
Nothing.
And it's nothing, right? Nothing. And it's a question. I think it's a question we have to ask ourselves. It's a question we are getting vivid portraits and pictures of what's happening. And
some people don't like when other people are happy because they're not really happy themselves.
That's part of it.
Sometimes that happens.
That's part of it. And but I just think it's really fascinating, compassionate. These two movies are two of the best documentaries I've ever seen. You know what I mean? Like documentaries that hit you in the heart, tell you you can go on, you can do these things, you're bigger than what you are, right? The Superman one is like, I thought I loved Christopher Reeve, and then I see the Superman documentary, and right now he's the only one. He's Superman, and when he got injured, he became more of a Superman because he's
basically found out who he really was when that happened, right?
Yes, and it's just such a great movie, and the sheer volume of people that are walking because of his foundation, the Chris and Dana Reeve Foundation. It's astounding. It's just, I don't know. They're two of the best documentaries I've seen because they have incredible people in them, and they're warm and compassionate, and they're all about the human condition. Like getting injured, how do you pick yourself back up off the ground, especially if you can never walk again? Changing your life, how do people react to you? How do you enjoy your life that you used to have if people are looking at you funny? What the fuck is wrong with us? That kind of like where we can't,
and that's in both circumstances, right? I mean,
well, that's part of it. And like one of the things that happens in the Superman doc, one of the things that happens is Robin Williams plays a big part of the movie. Robin Williams was his best friend at Juilliard, was his best friend after, And one of the things they say in the movie is the reason Chris likes to see Robin come over is because when Robin comes over, he doesn't talk about the wheelchair ever. He just talks about Chris. It's like, holy shit, you know what I mean? And then, if anybody's thinking about giving up or anybody, they're just great movies. They're wonderfully compassionate. Um, and just, I think Will Ferrell's question, what does somebody being happy have anything to do with you not being happy? Why do you care?
They have.
Why do you?
They have what you want. Maybe
We got to move on. We got to find a way to figure it out and be compassionate humans. And I'm over the non-compassion part of my life. I used to be super super conservative, and now I'm just like, we're too much. It's too much. It's just too much, and it's happening all the time now. And like people are mean, and if you have somebody or somebody, I'm not talking about. I don't want to talk about politics too much, but if you have somebody that's making fun of disabled people, realize when you watch my show every week, I'm physically disabled. So if somebody bad is talking, if somebody is talking about disabled people in a bad way, it's me. I'm one of them. So, and if you have an autistic family member, or if you have somebody that's mentally challenged, or yeah.
You're definitely going to be disabled in a couple of weeks.
We got Viking weekend coming
way.
I'm so excited. Okay, just remember Dan Leatherface Yeager helped me get my start. I understand. Those Leatherfaces are good movies. I think Leatherface Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 is pretty good. I love the poster for that. The poster is fantastic. Just Leatherface, the Saw is family was the tagline for Jasper. Living Dead Girl. I urge people to watch Will and Harper. It's really good. It's well done. Vince McMahon documentary, Kyle Defina, is also spectacular, but it's everything you would expect. It's a horror show from like the moment he sits down, he says, I could tell you some stories, but I can't because we wouldn't be allowed to have them on television. And you're thinking to yourself, holy fuck, he's about to get indicted for sex crimes. Like, holy shit. You're just like sitting there going, oh my God. I watched Matlock. It was good, right? It was fantastic. Again, the twist, one of the best twists I've seen on a rebooted television show. One of the best twists ever. Then don't watch the debate. No, gotta watch the debate. Can't not. I like train wrecks. I'm the same person watching an accident, passing the accident, going, oh, I hope nobody's injured. Watch videos of soldiers coming home to their dog. Happy times. Also amazing times. Patrice is a Hood doc on Hulu too. Patrice is a good doc on Hulu too. Thank you. Isn't it past your bedtime then? No, it's never past my bedtime. I'm one movie in. I try to get the movie in at midnight because I have to take pills at night. So I try to get the movie in at midnight so I'm already ahead for the day, and then if I can get another one in like in the afternoon when the kids aren't home yet. You know what I mean? I'm working hard for this 31 and 31. Okay. I kid. I joke. Okay. We will do this first. Let's do It Came from Jerry's Basement while we're waiting for Kyle, because we'll save Twilight Zone until Kyle gets here. It Came from Jerry's Basement. So every week we pick a movie that Jerry finds in his basement that we can find on Tubi. I couldn't believe the sheer volume of movies. What is this week's movie, Jerry?
This week's movie is Two Evil Eyes.
A little Dario Argento. George Romero. And it's an anthology, which, if anybody knows me, I love anthology movies. I love anthology horror films.
And the reason I picked this is because John Amos is in the Black
is in it. Yes. So it's a 1990 anthology horror film written and directed by George Romero, Dario Argento. It's an international production of Italy and the United States. It has Edgar Allan Poe stories. It has Adrienne Barbeau, which we can never not have enough Adrienne Barbeau.
Exactly. Harvey Keitel.
There's a bunch of really good actors in it. It is a fun little watch. It has, I think, it has 3 stories. I think it has 3. 2, Black Cat and the facts in the case of Mr. Valdemar. And so, all these anthologies are well done. It is one of the highest rated on movie, like Rotten Tomatoes. We use it as an aggregate. We don't whatever. It's a 63 on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's high for a horror anthology. Um, so but you get a great little mix and match of like George Romero doing an Edgar Allan Poe adaptation, which is something we need more of. Um, Also, before Kyle gets here, let's do so great movie. Where did you find it?
Oh, this is on Tubi.
Tubi. Tubi's got a lot of shit, and there's a lot of shit to watch on Tubi. So, Two Evil Eyes. If you watch it, let us know how you
On
feel
my
about it in
shelf.
the Loud and Nerdy group. Yeah, you have it on video. You have it on VHS. So let's do this because it's going to be a weekly thing. I don't know if you're watching, Jerry, but I'm going to talk about the Penguin really quick. The Penguin is bloody and brutal and violent and amazing, and I can't wait for it to be I can't wait for Pattinson's Batman to show up at some point. But right now, it's a Soprano style TV show. But I do want to say that Colin Farrell is fantastic as the Penguin. He's fantastic as Oz Cop, right? But the show has the unsung hero on the show is Kristen Milotti, and she is playing Sophia Falcone. And she is, a character that in the show's history already is a serial killer. She has been released from Arkham, but she has been in Arkham. And what I would say about episode two's episode that happened this week, the key that everybody should be watching for is where are the Matt Reeves Batman movies headed? Because we're going to get a new Batman movie in either 2025 or 2026. They're going to lean more realistic. But the Penguin brings up two things that are comic book based. First off, Sophia Falcone is seeing a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist is Dr. Rush. But in watching the show, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think he's Dr. Rush. Just don't. I think he's somebody major, and I think he may end up becoming Hugo Strong, which is one of the unsung Batman villains. He is a psychiatrist character he works at Arkham or Blackgate or any of the things, and he is consistently finding new and exciting ways to torture people who are mentally challenged. And he's also consistently trying to find out who Batman is. And there is a sequence in this episode 2, where Falcone is in a psychiatrist chair and he's using flashing lights and strobe lights that triggers her memories. And he's getting the memories and he's getting the information. That is what Hugo Strange does. So I want everybody to keep an eye on him. Another thing that got mentioned, the Penguin had a hooker party, which was fantastic. He had all these hookers for all the guys that survived a Maroni crime hit. And one of the hooker characters says to the kid who's super nice, "Oh, by the way, I hear you live in this section of town. I hear that town is a no man's land." Kyle, Defina.
What's
We're talking
going
about the
on?
Penguin. We're talking about the Penguin. I think Kristen Milotti is fantastic as Falcone. I also think No Man's Land being mentioned prominently, which is a major Batman story arc. And I also think, I don't know how you feel about this, I think the psychiatrist is Hugo. I do. What do you think?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for them all to drop. I haven't watched any of them yet.
What?
I can't do this weekly thing. I need them all.
Just so we're
Last
clear,
week,
you did
my
a week. You
He's
did
a
week.
binger.
I'm a binger, buddy.
Binger.
Binger.
You did
Yes.
it. Wait a second. You did it your entire life. You watch week to week. Your entire life, you watch week to week.
And I hated it.
God damn it. Okay, fine. We won't talk about it.
Yeah,
Then I
I'm not
ruined a lot of
watching
stuff for you.
Agatha either until they all come out.
Okay, Agatha was fantastic. And the only thing I will say is, I wish a certain co-host of the show was still around talking about this, because he finally got his mention. He finally got the mention that he dreamed about. A throwaway line in the middle of the show. Just, I don't know, maybe her kid could be Mephisto's worker. Fucking Mephisto for the first time ever. So three major comic book things in this week's episodes of Agatha and the Penguin. Fantastic. Again, I want everybody to watch. I think the psychiatrist is Hugo. You taking over comments?
I don't know where you left off.
Joe Ridgely, I kid. I'll do it. I got it. I was referring to if she watched Matlock. It's past her bedtime. Shut up, Joe. It's a good show. Argento, Suspiria, fantastic. Suspiria is one of the greatest movies ever made.
I like Joe's status last week after we went off the air, where he was basically like, "God damn you, JW, for making me watch Matlock."
I love that.
Something along those lines.
I saw that too.
I'm officially older than 40 now. So yep. Need to check it out. Thanks, Jerry. There you go. Penguin has been amazing, and Agatha can't be fun. I watch them back to back. It's great. Agatha was really good. Again, Mephisto got dropped in the middle of the episode, so it's amazing. Give me Winter in Gotham and Freeze. Yes, I would love to get Mr. Freeze. We're gonna get the Joker. The Joker's coming. Okay.
I'll be back as Mr. Freeze.
No, he's not. He's got other things he's working on. He's not watching it. That or Agatha.
Go ahead, say it.
Mephisto. Yes, Mephisto getting mentioned.
Universe.
This is the week I should have been over to Missy to talk comic book stuff. Kyle isn't watching Laugh Out Loud. Probably. And now that Kyle's here, first off, do you have any Funko Pops or anything you're doing? What do you got going on?
I got nothing. I just ran in the door.
I know. How was your meeting? Was good though. Was it a good meeting? Good. Yeah, got a lot of pops.
Yeah,
okay.
Awesome.
Keep that in mind. It's good to have you here, Kyle. And now it's time to start Twilight Zone Redux.
Actually, the Batman one. There we go. Little Joker King Batman.
Oh, Joker King's nice. I like that. I can respect that.
Yeah, a little Joker King.
For some reason, I don't know if it's because of this show, because of your Funko Pop collection. I've been getting Funko Pop emails for the last 2 weeks that let me know when things are going to be like.
Guy in the sky is watching us all.
well, yeah, 1984 all over again.
No, I just randomly put JW's email on random sites.
That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. And now, Kyle, for the moment you've been waiting for since you got out of your meeting, Twilight Zone Redux.
Oh, yeah? The what? I can't hear you.
I know you can, and it's okay.
What was it?
It's okay.
What?
I love you, Kyle.
Wait, hold on.
I love you, Kyle. And what I'm going to say to you
hear.
is, Kyle, two things. One, I wasn't actually mad. Two, everybody thought I was really mad. Fuck. I was trying to apologize. Everybody thought I was mad. I wasn't. I was playing it up like you're gonna fuck around. We're gonna find out. Anyway, but I wasn't mad at Kyle last week.
That's that Gen X thing.
I hate Kyle, but I don't not love Kyle either. So anyway, Penguin's great.
I used JW's email for my Grinder account. Wait, what?
What? Well, that explains that one email. Interesting.
I don't know why you're laughing, Jerry. I use your picture.
Your username.
This is the picture that I think people were asking about the blades in my head. Weird.
I'd like to know what your password is.
I don't need his password. I just need to know his mom's maiden name, and a place where he used to live. Anyway, Twilight Zone Redux. A great episode this week. We'll get back to Kyle. We'll keep on for a couple minutes. Okay, so this week's episode is A Stop at Willoughby. And so this is about an ad exec.
Push.
Push. This is about an ad exec who's having a really bad day, and bad week, bad life, frankly.
Totally.
He's a terrible, I feel he's so bad. Opening narration is lengthy. It's the episode 30 of Twilight Zone. Episode 30. Original air date was May 6, 1960. We are, get this, Jerry, 8 episodes away from finishing season 1. This is Garth Williams. Yeah, well, they apparently made TV shows. It's
hard to believe we went through that many already. right?
30 episodes. This is Gart Williams, age 38, a man protected by a suit of armor, all held together by one bolt. Just a moment ago, someone removed the bolt, and Mr. Williams' protection fell away from him and left him a naked target. He's been cannonaded this afternoon by all the enemies of his life. Cannonaded. Cannonaded. Cannonaded? Cannonaded. Cannonaded. I don't know. I don't usually go up on words. This afternoon, by all the enemies of his life, his insecurity has shelled him, his sensitivity has straddled him with humiliation, his deep-rooted disquiet about his own worth was zeroed in on him, landed on target, and blown him apart. Mr. Gart Williams, an ad agency exec, when in just a moment will move into the Twilight Zone in a desperate search for survival. So this episode is about an ad exec. He has, okay, so yeah, we got Kyle. Stick around to the end because we do have some big Kyle news. But this episode also, like, his wife is terrible. Thank you, Joel. I'll try to sound it out. And he travels the train from New York to Connecticut every night, and then one night he goes to sleep in the middle of winter, and he wakes up with a conductor he does not recognize and a train he does not recognize.
Willoughby.
And it's an aged conductor. He's like, "This next stop is Willoughby," and just kind of like, he's like, "Willoughby, this isn't it." It's and the guy's like, "It's July. It's beautiful." He's like, "It's November.
Oh, it's
and it's
November.
cool." Yeah, and so he freaks out and he wakes up and he just thinks he's dreaming. But he starts thinking about Willoughby and how nice it looks from the outside, from the inside of the car, right? And then so then he has other things, like his life just kind of falls apart at the ad agency. I was thinking about this, Jerry. This episode reminds me of Mad Men, right? These people under incredible, intense pressure with the advent of television, with ads being made. There's a scene in the episode where one guy calls because the TV show that they had an ad on was terrible, and the other guy calls and says not only was the TV show terrible, but the ad is. He's got two phones. He goes, not only was the TV show terrible, but the ad was terrible. And so it's just this pressure and grind and just he breaks. And his wife is just terrible. He comes home to get a drink, and instead she goes, "I heard from one of the other wives that you had a breakdown at work." And she is a bitch. She is mean to him.
Oh, yeah, she is.
She is really bad. And eventually he has the scene where everything's breaking down. He calls her and she hangs up on him. So he goes on the train.
Click.
Yeah, click. He goes home and he gets on the train and he goes home. He falls asleep and he wakes up. Next stop Willoughby. Gets off the train. They're kids. Yep. It's 1888. There are kids fishing. They have no shoes on. It's like right out of Huckleberry Finn. There's a giant, main area in the town. It's amazing. And he gets off and he looks up at the sign and he stays.
And everybody knows him.
Everybody knows him. Hi, Mr. Williams. How you doing? I can't wait. Maybe I'm going to join you down at the fishing hole tomorrow. And then it cuts. The episode, he goes walking into the central square where everybody knows him, is saying him hi by name and everything. And this break, this psychotic break that he's had, it cuts. It cuts to the conductor of the train he's on every day and the person that's running the train. And Mr. Williams, Gart Williams, has jumped off the train and killed himself in the snow, in the cold. And and
basically the guy's got a lot of pressure,
and he has a nervous breakdown.
Home, he falls asleep and he dreams of this town Willoughby
and the town, and he
finally made it his escape.
Yes, and so, but the amazing thing here, Jerry, is two things. One, Mad Men, the connection to Mad Men, the amount of pressure that's in that show, in this episode, in 30 minutes is astounding. He is getting yelled at by the boss with the big cigar, yelling at him, this guy. He's getting yelled at home by his wife. He has visions of the boss in his mirror. He breaks that mirror. It's a schizoid break.
Can I tell you, what did you think about the line? I love the line when she said, "Can I get you anything?" He goes, "How about a sharp razor, a diagram of the human anatomy that shows all the major arteries?" That was amazing.
It's yes. I need a box of razors and a chart of the human anatomy with all the arteries. It's and and the thing is, I think it's a fascinating episode because Jerry, nobody was talking about men's mental health in 1960.
Well, yeah, you're expected to be the pillar, right?
Right, and that's what I mean. Think about how ahead of the curve it is. We didn't get a show about men's mental health until Mad Men in the 90s. Right? Like, and they're both ad execs. I was thinking Mad Men the entire time. The end of the episode is he looks up at the sign at Willoughby. They find him dead in the snow, and then this is the back of the snow hearse that the ambulance had sent to pick him up at the funeral home.
Yeah, they
Willoughby
put his body in there when they closed the door.
When they close the door, it says Willoughby and Son Funeral Home. But again, so ahead of its time, right? So ahead of its time, talking about men's mental health in the 60s, right? It's something now, right? We're living men's mental health right now, right?
All he wanted was a simple life.
All he wanted was a nice life. He didn't want to bother anybody.
I didn't marry Huckleberry Finn.
I didn't
said something like that, right?
Okay. Closing narration on this week's episode, Willoughby. Maybe it's wishful thinking nestled in a hidden part of a man's mind. Or maybe it's the last stop in the vast design of things. The vast design of things, Jerry. Or perhaps for a man like Mr. Gart Williams, who climbed on a world that went by too fast. It's a place around the bend where he could jump off. Willoughby, where whatever it is, it comes with sunlight and serenity and is a part of the Twilight Zone. Beautiful. And again, ahead of its time. Really well done. Amazing episode. One of the classics. You've definitely seen it on the day. Next week's episode 31, is called The Chaser. Next week's episode is called The Chaser, and it's about a dude who puts a Mickey in somebody's drink. Tell me we're not in 2020. You know what I mean? Like, it's great. When does Saturday Night come out? Been looking forward to it. It opened this week in a bunch of cities, New York, LA for Oscar consideration, Joe, and it will be going wider. I think they're doing a strategic tiered release for Saturday night. So it's definitely it'll be in Florida before we know it.
Don't open your mouth, Jerry. You might taste that.
Oh, that's horrible. Okay, Kyle, we're gonna end the show. But what's your big announcement? How was the gig last week, Jerry? Jerry said early.
It was great.
Went well. It went really well. Saw an old friend, had a good time.
Excellent time.
Speaking of gigs, Kyle, what do you got?
Well, I retired last year from actor performing with Rocky, but there was a theater that contacted the cast that was always on my bucket list of the FM Kirby Center in Wilkes-Barre, and they offered us a spot. Wilkes-Barre, and so looks like I'm coming out for another one last show.
So essentially, you're a wrestler who's also in Rocky Horror. You're Stone Cold coming back for one last match.
Either that or I'm Kiss. I don't know.
Well, if you're Kiss, you're never going to retire. That's not this. Like Austin actually went and did other things. Like you are. You're doing other things. Yeah. So, but I'm super excited for you. I know it's a bucket list.
Center was theater. Always. Yeah.
I know it's a bucket list. You all. Happy. I hope everything goes well. I'm super excited. Jerry, got any upcoming gigs? Rocky, rah. Jerry, what about you? Any upcoming gigs?
No upcoming gigs.
I know
that was at Dingbats in Clifton, New Jersey.
Dingbats in Clifton, New Jersey is covered with fucking Indie Escape Network cards like this, and then if you do this, if you show it to your friend, you just have to click that, and it gets everything. Okay. This is a great start. Where we got the start of the tournament. Start of the tournament. It's start of the spooky season. We got start of the tournament. Trick or Treat versus 1978 Halloween. We got We're going to continue doing weekly Penguin, weekly Agatha. We still got lots of Twilight Zones to get to. Where else can people find you guys? Jerry?
Everywhere. Well, Slapjaw is streaming everywhere. I mean, me
Slapjaw
personally,
streaming. Also, Jerry.
nobody really cares. But
Jerry also. we care. Jerry also, for anybody watching the show, Face of Horror, find this site, find this picture.
Is that Uncle
Find
Fester?
I don't know. Again, I think you're the guy from.
You can vote for Jerry once a day for free, folks. Make it
once
happen.
a day for free.
Yeah, I'm not paying any money. Don't pay any money for that stuff.
Yeah, we're not paying any money.
No.
We just want you to be the face of
We
fear.
all need our money for more.
You're the TikTok king, and then you're face of fear, and then you're on our show. It's a win-win for everybody on the network because the face of horror would be a great thing to have. People can find me.
Face of fear.
King.
Hey, if I ever got that thing, I'd be bringing those indie escape cards for sure. There, no doubt about it.
That's what I'm saying. Yes, and you can tell him Joe. Joe knows Kane Hodder. Joe knows Kane Hodder. So, we'll have to see how that plays out. But anyway,
Joe knows Bo.
People can
Bo knows.
find me. I'm super excited about the show for you, Kyle. People can find me on
awesome.
on Facebook, Twitter, nice. X, Twitter, same thing, Instagram, all those different places. We're going to put up the tournament challenge this week in the Loud and Nerdy group. And we're also going to do a couple other things. We're also going to include everybody on the amazing, where's it at? 31 in 31, JW 31 in 31, which we're going to also do Jerry and Missy. We're going to try to get in. I'm going to give you my list. And again, I don't know that I'm doing the entire list. I needed enough to call to be able to go, can I find it? Can I get it? And I don't want to pay for it is the key to everything.
Just go.
Nobody should pay anything for these movies. You can also see
always
next
the key
week,
of never pay for it.
never pay for it. Or
Never
if you're
pay
the
for
judge, the rule is don't do anything for free that you can get paid for. So it can go the other way. But join us. We are doing.
So you go both ways.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not gonna give you anything that you can put on a Grindr website. No, absolutely not. Nope. Anyway, please join us next week. Also, Generation Movie will return
I can
next week.
clip that into something.
We start our horror season. We're going to be doing some of the most classic horror films for October this year. We're doing Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original 50th anniversary of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We're doing the Dawn of the Dead remake, quite possibly the only good movie that director has ever made. We're also doing the original Nightmare on Elm Street, celebrating its 40th anniversary, 40 years of Freddy.
Saw that in the movie.
Saw that in the theaters myself. What? Go ahead. What?
Can we do a really fun list? Can we rank Rob Zombie's movies from worst to absolute worst?
Fundamentally, no, you can't do that because technically they're on the infinity curve. They're all the worst. There's no need to rank
Devil's Rejects is probably the best of the worst.
Devil's Rejects is the best of the movies he's made.
And then they just...
The rest of them are all garbage. Even
House of a Thousand Corpses.
House of a Thousand Corpses.
Motel Hell and Texas Chainsaw Massacre mixed together, right?
But not as good as either one of those movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only movie worth watching from Rob Zombie is Devil's Rejects.
Yeah,
that's the only one I would. The rest of them are on a continuum in my mind, Joe. Where
and the Battle of the Basement goes to Halloween and Halloween 2.
Oh, Halloween 2 is worse than Halloween. Okay, maybe you could do a list. I don't want to do a list though. I don't want to even talk about it. They make me so angry inside. I can't.
Hey,
I can't do it. I want to enjoy Halloween season.
Are you going to develop this list, or do you need help with it, like the comparison list for the content?
No, if you can send me a couple, we can work on it. But I was trying to think of really tough choices for people.
Yeah, there's
really hard choices. Like next week could be something like, I don't know, Night of the Living Dead versus Return of the Living Dead. Tough.
Okay, everybody out there, I need you to email JW your favorite parody porn horror movies. This is going to have so much fun with his algorithm for ads.
Do not.
Wait,
Please
I
don't.
have Erotic Nights of the Living Dead over here on DVD. That ain't
Stop.
even.
Okay.
I
Good time ending the show. Have a good night. Stay safe. We'll see everybody next week. Bye.
That's a true
I'm ending.
story.